Okay, well, welcome to another episode of Stephen Follows Instructions. Oh, I guess I better close my door. Yes, always. And I don't know if I have desktop audio going. It looks like my sound quality here is pretty good. And there isn't really any sound effects for this. What we're up to today is building an OERu course site with WordPress on Ubuntu, blah, 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 blah. So, first of all, I need to get the URL because, I'd like to be able to tell people that this exists. Here we go. And there isn't really any sound effects for this. Okay, that sounds like great audio, so I'll just put this up on Twitter now. Going live with Stephen Follows Instructions. There's the video. Now I'll correct my typo and let's get the title for this thing so people know what I'm doing. And this is it from OERu, Open Educational Resource Technology. I referenced it in my newsletter yesterday. So let's find my tweet again. Not that, not that, not that. I have too many windows open, don't I? Okay. There we go. And I'll just remove that. And I'll just copy this. Alright, so I'll tweet that here. And now I'll switch accounts. And tweet it here. And just in case, we'll pop into Mastodon and put it here. Alright. So, I will, that's not the one I want, so I can close that. I will be watching the comments in the other window, so you can comment to me if you wish. And let's kill that. Ask your admin to, I am my admin. Alright, so, oh, right, okay, let's, we'll just pop that into a separate window there. Okay, good. So I'm watching the comments in the other window. So here I am. I took a quick skim through this article before having a look at it, just to make sure that it actually would do some of the stuff I want to do. So, but I haven't read it in any sort of detail. So again, as usual for this series, I don't know exactly what I'm going to encounter. And there was another thing I wanted to say too, but I've forgotten what it is. All right. So, and I want to mention too, right off the top, I think it was a comment in on the other side here from Alan Levine, because the article didn't have the person's name on it, the author's name on it, and so that's not good. Here we go. But Alan Levine writes, I know the author is Dave Lane, who does heroic sysadmin and FOSS development. And let's see if he does good documentation as well. So, Docker sucks, da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so what's the alternative? All right. Okay, so let's not get involved in a side discussion though before I get going. All right, here we go. So, So instead of using a learning management system to frame the courses, OERu courses are hosted in a WordPress multi-site. Very good. So step 1, suitable host. Step 2, prepare the host. Step 3, configure your domain. Step 4, get the code. Step 5, set up Docker Compose. Step 6, set up your site. Step 7, celebrate. Now, I have an hour. I keep looking over here because my camera used to be over here, and so I'm used to it being there. I'll try to get used to that. So, I have an hour and a half, well, an hour and 15 minutes now, set aside for this today. I'll probably not finish. That's okay. I'll do a part 2. But I wanted to get this started because what I want to see is, would this be a good alternative for my MOOC that I'm starting in October, Ethics, Analytics, and the Duty of Care? I've always used Grasshopper, but it'd be nice if, this course were available to people using OERu. And, I always like to try new things. Maybe not, but okay. So, to host our WordPress multi-site, we use a quartet of Docker containers. That's 4 containers. Oh, you don't need Docker. Telling me you don't need Docker doesn't solve the problem of having full servers pre-configured. There. All right. But again, I don't want to get into too much of a discussion on the side here. See if anyone's watching. Nope. Nobody's watching, so actually it doesn't really matter. All right, enough. There's always someone who says, oh yeah, just use Debian and LAMP. Everything will be fine. Takes an hour to... It doesn't take an hour to get LAMP going. I've been through this. Idiot. Sorry, I shouldn't call him an idiot, but... Okay, now he's being an idiot. All right. Maybe he's watching, but it says 0 viewers. See, look, it says 0 viewers, so I don't think he's watching. But now he's going to start piling on the abuse, and I'm just going to block him. I'm going to try to block him. Okay, goodbye. Okay. That's how you deal with people who start piling on abuse. No explanations, no negotiation, just block them. All right. To real business now. I don't care if you don't like what I'm doing. All right. So, we're going to use 4 Docker containers, a Redis caching server, an Nginx web server, and 2 servers running PHP in FPM mode, whatever that is. Well, let's see what he says. Fast CGI process manager. Well, good, because I wouldn't want the slow CGI. And the other PHP containers responsible for running cron tasks. All driven by Docker Compose. Okay, so this is stuff that I've been working on in the past as well. So I should be learning some interesting stuff here. The host also runs an Nginx instance to run as, or to act as a reverse proxy in the endpoint of our SSL secure sockets loader. We'll use Let's Encrypt certificates. And this is consistent with our FOSS free and open source software, Docker-based hosting conventions. All right, step 1. Get yourself an entry-level virtual server. I generally use DigitalOcean, but there are many other commodity hosting services, etc. Now, I wonder what would happen if I used Reclaim. Would that be okay? Well, I also have a DigitalOcean account, and all of this is going to be relative to DigitalOcean, I suppose. Okay. Do a bit of research. Well, don't encourage me to do a bit of research. This is not a place where I want to be encouraged to do a bit of research. So I suggest you create an account for yourself, and I encourage you to use two-factor authentication and create. This is, I don't need all of this. You'll need to note the server's IP address. It'll be a series of 4 numbers. Okay. So, there are no links or anything. So, basically, let's see. Okay. Well, we want a gigabyte of RAM, 40 gig of static storage device. Most of our servers are, well, I don't care. Create an account for yourself. Encourage to use two-factor authentication. Says nothing about how to do that, or the most recent LTS version, whatever that is, in the zone nearest you. Okay, so let's try to follow these instructions. We'll go to DigitalOcean because that's what he says I like to use. Oh, I don't need that anymore. Okay, so let's go to DigitalOcean. Anyone watching yet? Nope, nobody watching yet. Pretty sure I'm streaming and recording, so I'm just not popular. Of course, I knew that. All right, so let's go to DigitalOcean. All right, DigitalOcean. Log in, because as I say, I do have. That's so annoying. Just log me in. Okay, I'm logged in. Okay, now what was the next thing? I need a new something. Come back. Here we go. All right. So get yourself an entry. Okay, use DigitalOcean for that. Okay. So get something for $5 a month. Create cloud servers. You see, this should be in the instructions. I know that you're writing to people who know all about this stuff. Pretend you're writing for me. Okay? Okay. And who doesn't know anything. Okay, here's the $6 a month. All right, so I guess it was $5. Because I don't know anything, and I've been doing this for 30 years. Okay, a gigabyte of RAM and 40 gig of SSD. So this is a gigabyte of RAM, 25 gig of SSD for $6 a month. Yeah, because one of the nice things about cloud servers is you can also always make them bigger. So okay, I've selected that. Regular Intel, premium AMD, premium. Okay, I see. Yeah, there's the 5, but with only 20. I'll go with premium Intel because, hey, why not? Geez, I have 56 notifications on here. Oh, okay. Yeah, all from 2 years ago. All right. Where was I? Choose a plan, basic. You notice how these are all sort of, shared CPU, shared general purpose, $60 a month, maybe not. All right. Okay. Add block storage. He says nothing about that. Pick a region. He does mention that. So, you know what would be useful here? Right? Just step by step. Right? Put it in point form instead of this block of text. And, don't give me all the extra stuff. Just tell me what I need to do. And then if you want the others, if you want to talk about other services and so on, you can put it down later, but give me step by step. That'll get me through this step. Because right now I'm not through this step yet. And I'm still trying to figure it out. Okay. So Toronto, because, Canada. All right. VPC network as default Tor 1. I have no idea what VPC. Private networking is now automatically enabled. What does this mean? I don't know. Let's look and see. Virtual private cloud is a private network interface for collections of DigitalOcean resources. Okay. It's sort of like VPN, only virtual private cloud. That's probably a pretty good idea. Select additional options. Don't need more. SSH keys. Oh. All right. So I could either do a root password or SSH keys. Now, SSH keys are a lot better. And in fact, I've had some bad experiences with passwords because they can be pretty easily guessed. The instructions here say use two-factor authentication. And that's neither of these options. Now, the only way to do two-factor authentication is with the password. So, all right. So, let's use the password. It's easier. And in fact, what we're going to do is create a generated password. Oh, well, maybe not that one because now you can see it. All right, we'll do this off the screen. All right, so I'm going to generate my password. Okay, where were we? Suggestions. Now, if you're wondering where my generated password came from, and okay, this new one. All right, save. Okay, so there it is. So I use a password manager called 1Password. It automatically generated a pretty long secure password and it stores it so I don't need to remember it. So that's what I'm using. Okay, so how many droplets? Just one. Create a host name. Let's try ethics, analytics, and duty of care, the MOOC. Add add tags. We'll do that later. Select project. Assign droplets to a project. Nah. Enable backups. Recommended. $1.20 per month. Yeah, sure. Let's go all out. Create droplet. So, all right. So I guess I've created my resource. I wonder where it is. It's probably in droplets. There it is. There's my resource. Still don't have two-factor authentication on it, and I have no idea how to put two-factor authentication onto it. So there's a little something that could be improved in the instructions. And it automatically assigned it to my test project, but fine. And that's being very annoying up there. See, there's a search form, and it's one of these things that's automatically going to put it in. Anyhow, okay, here's my droplet floating IP. Oh, private IP. Okay, so let's go back to the instructions. You will need to note the server's IPv4 address, and we'll have a newer IP. Now, I did not choose IPv6, so all I have, so well, we can enable it now. Okay. Oh, well, that's nice. So, okay. I don't know how. Oh, they're IPv4. Okay. Enabling IPv6. There's two types of addresses, right? The old type is IPv4, and the new type is IPv6. So your droplet must be powered off before enabling public IPv6 network. Never mind. Okay, so here's my IPv4 copy. And what happens if I put that into a browser? Probably nothing, but unable to connect. Well, that makes sense. Nothing's running on it. So, okay. All right. Good enough. So, all right. I have a droplet. Okay, well, they'll bill me later. I've always paid them. Well, I haven't paid them anything since 2018, but I'm sure they're happy to see me back. And sorry, Jim, I'm not using Reclaim because I just want to follow the instructions as closely as I can. Okay. You'll want to have a domain to point to your server so you don't have to remember. Okay, you'll have to register a name. All right. Once you've selected and registered your domain, you can set up an A record that associates your website's name to the IPv4 address of your server. Again, this would be useful if it actually, pointed to much more detailed external things to do that. Now, I have domains registered already, and in fact, they're managed on Reclaim. So let's go to Reclaim. And see, there's one password at work, and now I can just log in. So, love it. Okay, now, pricing changes? No. Okay, so I click on Domains, My Domains. Okay, so what domains do I have? It says none. I'm pretty sure that's not right. No records found. I'm really sure that's not right. Domain. Manage name servers. No, I know that they work. My accounts. Let's go into my accounts. Sure. That doesn't tell me anything. cPanel. Maybe I do my domains through cPanel? Don't think so. Oh, well, here's domains. Okay, here we go. Here's my domains. I wonder why that other link didn't work. It should have taken me right here. Okay. All right, so as you can see, I have mooc.ca, fallacies.ca, and downs.ca. I also own the domain newstrolls.com, but I don't have that running at the moment. So, what I want to do, now you see where it says, oops, that's not it. See where it says you can set up an A record. So here we are in Reclaim. So what I'm going to do is create a new record. So I'll create a new domain. Oh no, that's not it. Let's go back. Should be a way to do this. I've forgotten. Read the documentation. That's a record. No, it's searching through my domains is what it's doing. Let's go here. Oh, it just took me straight to this. Document root, not directed, etc., etc. So, no, actions manage. All right. Okay, maybe I do create a new domain. So let's try that and see what happens. Create a new domain. Say, okay, so ethics, analytics, duty of care of the MOOC at mooc.ca. Okay, no, that's not it. All right, let's go to the knowledge base and see why you want to put this stuff in there, right? This is, I haven't done this stuff for a while, and I don't remember it because I don't do it for a while. And come on, Reclaim. Right, I all I did is hit knowledge base. docs.reclaimhosting.com says that does not exist. Okay, we'll just search. Set up a domain on Reclaim. Creating and managing subdomains on Reclaim hosting. Okay, yeah, create a subdomain. That's what I want to do, is create a subdomain. That's what an A record means, is create a subdomain. So why can't I create a subdomain? Submarine. See, it doesn't tell me how to get to this page. Maybe this will tell me.
As you build out your space on Reclaim hosting, you're probably eventually going to get to the point where you're running more than one piece of software or different types of things on your account. And one way that you can separate those is using subdomains. Now, subdomains aren't top-level domains. Top-level domains would be like having towens.net, as well as maybe toolsfortheweb.com and a couple other different domains. Subdomains are actually prefixed onto your actual domain. So, for example, with a WordPress blog, maybe I have blog.towens.net. Or in the case of what I'm going to use for an example here, I want to install an Omeka site, and so I'm going to create archives.towens.net. And so the way you do this in cPanel is to go under the domains area and click on subdomains. And you'll see it has a couple straightforward options here.
That's all I needed. Okay. So, I don't need to open up a new one. Okay. All right, cPanel. subdomains. Subdomain. Ethics, analytics, duty of care. Oops. Ethics, analytics, duty of care, the MOOC. Yeah, not the best subdomain, eh? Okay. Well, we'll create it. All right. So now I want to redirect it. Is it going to list here? No. So we'll create it. Okay. I didn't mean to click on that. Okay, go back. Did it add it to my list? Yes, it did. Okay. So manage redirection. And this is going to redirect to this address. And we'll save. I think that's what we'll do. I think that's what we do. I'm not sure that's an A record properly done. But there's where it goes. And that really is the only option I have to do this. So it should have created what they call an A record. It used to be you actually had, you could choose the type of record it was and all of that. But you see, and I do redirect some of my domains. Like my mail domain. I don't even see my mail.downs.ca. So maybe that's not exactly what I want. Well, that'll work, right? It's just now that every request will go through Reclaim. But if I had an A record, it wouldn't have to go through Reclaim. So let's go back to let's go back to the A, or to the cPanel. Okay. Go back to cPanel main and zone editor. Yeah, here we go. So in mooc.ca, so manage. Right, here we go. This is what I was looking for. So what I want it to be is, and I don't even see it here. Oh, there's a lot more, and that's why. I've got lots of MOOC records, as you can see. But not the one I'm looking for. Control F, ethics, analytics, duty of care. Yeah, it's not even on this page. Didn't even show up. Okay, so, all right, here's what we'll do. We'll go back here. I'm going to go to the subdomains. I'm going to remove this wherever it went. And it's not there anymore. Oh no, there it is. Okay, I'm going to remove this. Delete subdomain. Okay. So ignore everything I've done to this point. Okay. Okay, it's been done. Now let's go back to the cPanel. Zone editor. Manage mooc.ca. And now I'm going to want to create a new A record in here. Once it loads, it's taking longer to load for some reason. Okay, so So you can see some of my other A records, right? Webmail, cPanel, a bunch of things. Mostly they go to other locations right inside Reclaim hosting. But not all. Yeah, I guess all. But okay, so so we're going to add a record. Okay, valid and zone name mooc.ca with a period at the end. Notice. Time to live 1440 is normal. Type A, and now we're going to use that address we got from DigitalOcean. The public, not the private, the public IP address, the one that starts with 143. And we'll put that in here. And we'll save it in 1Password. Oh, no we won't. We'll save the record. And there we go. So, and it should show up here somewhere. Probably at the bottom. No? It should be somewhere. Control F. They're not in alphabetical order or anything. Oh, it doesn't show up at all. Well, I'm pretty sure it's there. Maybe the page just doesn't refresh. Let's go home and we'll try reloading the page. Manage mooc.ca. No. Huh. Well, how weird. That really should have worked and really should be there somewhere. Find that a bit strange that it wouldn't just show up now. Did I do it wrong? Let's try adding it again and see what happens. Oh. Oh, I see. I need to do it like this. Ethics, analytics, duty of care, the MOOC, eadcm.mooc.ca with a period after it, AAA, and then we put in our IP address just like before. Okay, I forgot to put in that part. Save record. Saving. And now, there it is. All right. So now what that does is it saves this record into the domain name service as a whole. So automatically, oh yeah, you see, I've broken mooc.ca by doing that. So let me delete that one so that I haven't destroyed all of mooc.ca. So, okay, so anything addressed to mooc.ca will just go to my main server, which is here on Reclaim. But this one, eadcm.mooc.ca, will go to this address here, and that's the address of my DigitalOcean server. Whew, that's a lot of work. It's taken me a half hour to get to this point. And nothing personal. When do you retire? I don't know. Oh, well, I do know. 2.5 years. Oh, 365. So then, I guess. And will I keep OERu Daily going? Only if I can afford to. Because my retirement, my gold-plated government pension won't be enough to live on. So I'll need other income when I retire. And so if I can afford it, which means if I get Patreon support or whatever, I'll keep OERu Daily going. If not, I won't. It's really going to be that simple. And it's pure pragmatics. Anyhow. Okay, back to what we were doing. I don't need that anymore. All right, so You might be asked, you will be asked, okay. You should be able to test that you're A and quadruple A. Oh, that's the IPv6, which I'm not bothering with because I don't need it. By SSHing to your domain name. Okay. But we don't even know if I can SSH into anything yet. So why is this here? I can't test it yet. I haven't a clue what I'm doing. Okay. All right. Sort out your details. Okay, so we will need to replace. Okay, so this is various hosts, users, passwords, etc. So what he's saying here, I think, is we need to define these, right? These are the variables you need to find. Well, we can't find any of them yet because none of them exist yet. But the advice is good. We should take this bit here and Control C, and I'm going to create a new document. Yeah, I'll just do it. I'll just put it on Google Cloud. So, because that's secure enough for this. So, Google Docs, I should say. So I'll create a new document. I'll just paste all of this in. All right, and now I'll just fill these in as I figure out what they are. So my domain name, for example, I know is ethics analytics duty of care the mooc.mooc.ca. Good enough? That's all I know. Although the IP, maybe I'll insert something right above that. IP address. And that way I don't have to look it up all the time. So here's my IP address. I will just copy it. All right. Now we will fill in the rest of this, and of course I'll have to hide some of the stuff from you. Or maybe I'll just use it and then change it later. I don't know. All right. Okay. Not all values in all files surrounded by whatever need to be replaced. If they're not included in the list above, leave them as you find them. Yeah, well, we haven't found any of them yet. So, all right. Random passwords. To generate decent random passwords, you can install pwgen by running on your server. Okay. Yeah. Now, again, I used 1Password, and I just used the random password generator. And here are some random passwords generated by this password generator. Okay, but see, look at this. Okay. I'm not even in my server yet. He hasn't said anything about getting into my server, etc. But he's telling me to run these things. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to get into my server somewhere, somehow. So that should be a whole, a thing there. How do you get into your server? So let's go back to DigitalOcean. Here we are. This droplet exists. Console. Okay, well, that was easy enough. Console is like SSHing in, but it isn't SSHing in. So, and of course I installed Ubuntu instead of because that was the default instead of, what did he say? This is going to be a problem later, right? Go back up here. La-di-da-di-da. Oh, create a new Ubuntu or the most recent LTS version. Do you mean the most recent version of Ubuntu? Just say the most recent version of Ubuntu and not LTS, because I haven't a clue what LTS means. I really, really have no clue. I'm not just saying that for the sake of this video. I really have no clue what LTS means. In fact, let's look it up. Search Google for LTS. Long-term support. Okay. So you can see how I'd be changing a lot of this the way this is presented, eh? Okay, so set up your details, random passwords. So let's see if this even works. I'm just going to copy it with Control-C, and now I'll pop into my console. Where did my console go? I thought it was here. It's gone. Is it here? No. No. I'm done with that. I don't need that anymore. Don't need that. Although, go Blue Jays. Alright, let's go back into the console again. Now, do I have two consoles running? I do. So I'll get rid of one of them. Alright. And I actually have... Oh, my live streaming. Right. Anyone watching still? Oh, I had one person for a short period of time and then they left. Alright. The world's most boring video. Nobody's chatted yet either. Okay, so I'm in my console. Let's see now. Paste. Okay, I did a control, or sorry, I did a right click and then, well, that's all I did. Does that work? Okay, installing password generator. Setting it up. Okay, so that worked. Yay, that was actually easy. Okay, coming back now to the instructions, and now to create a fairly long password, again, right click copy, and then back into the console, right click paste, and enter, and it generated a random 19-character password, which doesn't help me now because I'm already in DigitalOcean, so you can't really create your DigitalOcean password before you've gotten into DigitalOcean or after you've gotten into DigitalOcean. Just a little thing, but all right. Moving on. That was step 1. Prepare the host. Step 2. We've got maybe half an hour left. Then I have to go because I have a meeting. Preparing the host involves ensuring your firewall, UFW, is configured properly, installing the Nginx web server to act as your host's reverse proxy, and installing Maria database and configuring it properly. Okay, so, and also installing postfix so we can send mail, and ensuring that the server knows how to launch Docker containers and manage them with Docker Compose. Okay, that all makes sense. So let's make sure our Ubuntu package repository is up to date. So right click, copy, and come back into the console. And maybe I'll make this a bit bigger so that you can see it more easily. We'll just go right into the right screen. And can I make this text bigger? Yes, I can. All right. So now right click, paste, sudo apt-get update. Now it's going to install. Okay. That should have installed. In fact, now I'll just put this over here. Put this here so I'm running side by side here. All right, good. Did I make things all weird now? No. Okay, good. All right. Prepare the host. Prepare the host. All right. So, okay. Okay. Firewall with UFW. No computer system is ever fully secure. There's always exploits, etc. So, let's minimize our attack surface using a firewall. So, we need to set it up though, and make sure we've got exceptions for SSH so we don't lock ourselves out of our machine. If you remember, he's never told us how to get into it using SSH, but I digress. Okay, copy, paste. Okay, so sudo, that's run a command to super user UFW firewall allow in on Docker 0. Okay, rules, and it just updates the firewall rules. And now this allow in from the home address. Paste. No, that's not home. 172.0.0.1 is home. Oh, from 0 to 8. Okay, that's what that slash means. To any. So, okay. Specifically for Docker's benefit, you need to tweak the following forward rule. I use Vim as my editor. As an alternative, use Nano. Okay, so we need to edit this. So sudo nano and then the file name. So we're going to launch the editor. I don't know if that'll work in this console window, but we'll see. Oops, right click, paste. And it does. Awesome. Sometimes it doesn't, and if it doesn't, you have to change the terminal type. But this seems to be okay. All right, so copy the line. Okay, so that's kind of awkwardly worded. Copy the line default forward equals drop tweak so it looks like this. All right, so let's find default forward. Okay, so he has default forward equals drop. So what we want to do, we use our mouse or our arrow keys to move around. So I'm going to do this now. Can I just type? Yes, good. So I've commented that out, and I'm going to replace it with this. So I'll put my mouse back here, right click, paste, and that should be all I need, although I'll hit enter because I'm a completionist. Okay, you will also have to edit systemcontrol.conf and remove these. Okay, so what he hasn't done is said, okay, so exit is Control X, save modified buffer, yes. File name to write, there's our file name, good. All right, so Control X to quit and save. Similarly now, sudo nano, etc. Copy. Boy, this would be a real mystery to somebody who wasn't familiar with nano. Paste. And for the longest time, all I ever used was VI, and not as easy. All right, and it doesn't always work in a lot of these terminal applications. So now we're editing this system control configuration file. All right, so we want to uncomment this, whatever this is, to allow this host to route packages between interfaces. Okay, so we're looking for IP forward, And it's already commented, that's right. So it's going to be in the green here. So, oh, there it is. All right, so I'm going to try just to use a backspace to remove that comment. Ah, that worked. Same thing here. Forwarding equals 1. Okay, I'm not using IPv6. So that might cause a problem. We'll just note that and log it. I'm still looking over there because I still think I'm looking into the camera when I do that. I'm not even running the camera at the moment. Okay. Right. And finally restart the network stack in UFW on your server. Okay, so Control X to exit, save, yes. File name to write, that's the file name. Okay, so now look at it. See, he's using, here's one format to use a command, and here's a different format to use a command. He's using different formats here. This should be in the same format as this up here and the other sudo commands, because we're not editing text here. We're issuing a command. Typographical consistency is key. All right, so let's restart networking. Failed to restart networking. Unit networking.service not found. Let's see. That might be true here as well. And so I don't know why the service networking didn't work. Sudo service, maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. Didn't really get a response. So Ubuntu restart networking. Okay. Sudo, etc. Okay, yeah, inet. Okay, restart. Oh, let's try that. Copy. Right click, paste. Networking is not found. Let's try the other one. Let's look in this directory. So, okay. I don't see anything for networking or anything. It's probably in a subdirectory. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Yeah. All right, back to where we were. That's not where we were, was it? No. That's not where we were. That's not where we were. That's not where we were. I've lost where we were. There we are. So, service networking restart. And right, that's right. I was searching for it. Let's copy this and use that as my search string, and we'll point out oh, I can't read that. Alright, that's terrible. I just can't read it. Alright, Ubuntu. And I'm going to put that actually in quotes. Alright. See, I love this, right? Accept all cookies or customize. See, there's no way. See, superuser.com, you are jerks. There's no way to refuse cookies on your site. Alright. How can I fix this? Oh, okay. System control, list unit files, grep I network. Okay, so let's do that. Paste. So, what this is the grep is searching for network. Alright, so systemd, networkd, service. So, it's probably network D and not network. So, let's try that. We'll go back to the original instruction. And here it is. Paste. And now I'll edit this. Network D. Nope. Okay. Maybe network D dispatcher, network. There's a bunch of things, eh? Or system D network. Let's try that. System D hyphen network D. Ah. Okay. I assume that worked. If it didn't work, well, I'll just restart the entire server. And that'll restart everything. But, yeah. So, it's one of these things you sort of have to, this really depends on a very precise configuration of your server, and if your server isn't configured exactly so, this isn't going to work. So, just saying. Alright, so next we want to install the nginx server. So sudo apt-get install nginx. I used to call it ingx because, it looks like the Chinese name, but I eventually discovered, oh yeah, nginx. Alright. So, installing it, yes. I'm going to default to yes because if you say no, you don't get your server. So, it's almost like, what's the point? So, it's installing. Having lots of fun. Oh, it's done. Alright, so let's go back to the right screen view, and then to allow nginx to be visible via ports 80 and 443, sudo ufw allow nginx full. Okay, paste, rules updated. Make sure your hosting service is not blocking these ports. How would I do that? Again, give me a link and tell me You know, depending on who's providing your hosting service, you may have to set up port forwarding. Well, if you're using DigitalOcean, you know, anyhow, here's how I know. Here's now this. What this should result in is that now I should have. Oh, maybe it's not running yet. Oops. Come on. Address already in use. So I think it might be running already. That's what would, so let's I'm just curious. So let's don't need that, don't need that. Do need this. Nope, that's not it. Do need this. Let's see if I get any response in this URL. Aha! So, see, what would have been really useful in these instructions here is to recommend to the user, test your server, test and see that your server is running. There's probably a way to edit all this, isn't there? Because it should be on the wiki. You have to log in and all that. Never mind. Okay. So, my Nginx server is running and can be accessed by the external world through the firewall. All right. So, next, installing the Nginx web server / reverse proxy. Okay, no, we did that. Okay, installing Maria database. Okay. Sort of surprised we're installing it on the same machine, but okay. So, okay, we're installing a Maria database right here. Paste. So this is, so we're installing both Maria database server and Maria database client. Maria is a fully open source version of MySQL, and yes, we want to continue. So I used to do all this stuff on my desktop, and I'd have, you know, one installation colliding with another, etc. So much easier to do all of this in the cloud. You know, I really much prefer doing it in the cloud. So because I'm starting with a nice clean machine, so I don't need to worry that, you know, I've got something else using the ports. You know, if something's using the ports, it's something I installed, etc. All right. So here we are. What's next? So it looks like Maria is installed. You need to set a root admin user password and you might want to create a root /.my.cnf file containing the root password to allow you. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, I need to set up a root admin user password. How? Well, you might want to create, or what else might you want to do? We have no other instructions. Okay, so he doesn't give us any instruction on how exactly I would do that, but we can infer how to do that from before. Okay, so let's try that. So before, when we needed to create a file, we used nano. Did we use sudo nano? I think we did, didn't we? So that we have right permission. So sudo nano, and then just the file, right? So root mi.cmf, right? Okay. Good. So now I'm editing that file. So here's what I'll put into it. Now, I'm going to hide some stuff from you here, so I'll just tell you what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to do it. I'm going to change this into an actual password, and then I'm going to hit Control X and then save it. So I'm going to move this. Now I'm going to change this into an actual password. You can't see me doing that, of course. So, but that's okay. All right. Okay, I've created my password. Now I'm hitting Control X and I'm saving it. File name to write to. Okay, good. So, all right, so I've saved that file. You should now be able to type MySQL at the command prompt. Well, I can always type it. What you mean is I can now type it and I'll get some result. MySQL. And yes, I am into MariaDB, which is my MySQL application. All right. Now, if you're accessing the server via a non-root user, which is a good idea, the reason why I use sudo in this how-to, you might want to create a similar myCNF file in your directory with your username in place of root and a different password. So, okay. Let's not do that. Okay, exit. Oops. Control C. Yeah. Okay. So see now. Why am I not going to do that? Because I'm in root now. Right. I've been doing all this work as root. At no point previously did he say anything about getting out of root, creating a new user, a new non-root user, etc. It's just assumed, right? Well, you can't assume it with people like me because I'm stupid and I don't know what I'm doing. So, but anyways, you still have to run the following as the root user. So let's just stay here, and if it really becomes an issue later, I'll change it, but I'm pretty sure I don't need to. I only have 10 minutes left anyways. And even more to the point, this entire video has had 0 viewers. Oh, I laugh, but I laugh because it's funny. Am I even still recording? Yeah, I've been going for an hour and 13 minutes. 0 viewers, even though I announced it on Twitter. So maybe the URL was wrong, or I don't know. Okay, let's go back. So, create user. Okay. Yeah, so you'll need to run the following as the root user. So, I know enough about this stuff to know. What he means is you need to run the following as the root user of MySQL. Right, as the MySQL root user. So I don't know if this will get me into that, but MySQL. Okay, see, and I don't think I'm the root user here. So here's the command. Let's try just one of these. So here's how this works. Create user, and then your username goes in quotes, localhost, that's always going to be localhost, identified by, and then the password. So I'll just make my username Downs, because that's who I am. And then the password, and again, I'd like to keep it a secret, but I also think this is going to fail. So let's move this off the screen, and then we'll see what happens when I create the new password. Okay, identified by. All right. Let's see what happens. I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so it said 0 rows affected. And I'll show you this without showing you the password that I entered. Somehow, you have to be kind of careful here. Okay, whoops. Just want to cover up that line, right? So, right. There's no way to move that over with it. All right, I'm going to use a different password than the one I actually typed in, okay? So, don't steal this password because it won't work. See what I typed in? Typed in create user Downs, etc., right? So, 0 rows affected. That means nothing happened. I did not actually create that user. And in fact, let's see, list tables. No, show tables. All right, no database selected. Okay. So there's stuff missing here. So much stuff missing. Okay. Oh, show databases. Yeah. Okay. Information schema, MySQL performance schema. So use MySQL. Okay. Show tables. Right. So. There's user, that's the user table, right? And then, what's the command? Select from user. Semicolon. All right. And as you can see, oh, well, there I am. Localhost Downs. Huh. Isn't that odd? So it shouldn't have said 0 rows affected. That's really hard to read. So if I stretch this really wide or make the text a lot smaller, you can see it. Well, it's just because there's so many columns. If it didn't word wrap, it'd be easier to read too. So okay, I'll have to change my password, but I can do that later. Okay. So, all right. So I guess that did work. All right. So let's go back. Just plain MySQL again. So we're doing the same thing, except instead of using localhost, right, we're using percentage sign. I honestly don't know what that percentage sign means. Down's at percent, so I have no idea what that means. I'm going to use the same password as I did before, I suppose. Pretty sure that's what it was. See, again, it's 0 rows affected, but use my SQL. Select all from user. Yep, now I have 2. And what's kind of neat is the hash, even though the password was the same in each case, pretty sure it was the same, the hash is different. Was it the same? Pretty sure it was. I'm just scrolling through to try to find it. Okay. Oh no, they were different. Okay. So I'm going to have to be careful here. In fact, let's actually write this down so I can access these accounts later when I need to. So let's go back into, remember we were logging them down in that other page. Oops, that's not it. Here we go. Oh, I must have moved it over. Oh, this is it, right. Okay, good. My other browser window. And we'll come back to this document. So, database root password. We don't have a root password yet. But database user downs at localhost and database password. See, this is, oops, that's not what I had in mind. I wanted to copy. I wanted to copy the password from here. Copy. Now I'll pop back into here and paste. So, again, a bit of an inconsistency in the instructions here because we actually created more than one database user. So, let's put the second one in. Downs at percentage sign, whatever that means. And why is that important? Because I created a different password for it because I had, in the space of just a few minutes, forgotten my password. Alright, so here's the second password. Let's linger on these passwords a little more and see if people can remember them. Oh, and 302, and that's the end of this session. So that's my time. Where was I? I'm just in the middle of stuff. It always works out that way, doesn't it? So I'm going to pick this up again, obviously. I'm doing okay, but you can see I'm struggling a bit with the instructions. So here we go. I created this. Okay, grant all to database user at whatever. Oh, here we go. Grant all. Yeah, so there's the 2 grant alls and then so on. So we'll pick up right here, right in the middle of creating the user, in the next episode of Stephen Follows Instructions. So, I'm Stephen Downs. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found this more interesting than my 0 viewers. And I'll get back to you next time. Bye.